Hello, and a warm welcome to Geniuspire, the podcast where we decode life and help you design your future. My name is Malongo Muchalemba, and I'm here to empower 13 to 30-year-olds to take better control of their lives. Now, parents, relax. Taking control does not mean becoming a brat with a blatant disregard for authority. It means becoming more conscious of how you show up at whatever stage in your life. You won't always control your circumstances, but you can start controlling your mindset, your habits, and your choices step by step. Today, we're diving into something that shapes how people see you often before you even open your mouth. It's called signaling and signposting. Signaling is how you show the world your potential, your grades, your achievements, your attitude. Signposting is what you're doing, the steps and experiences that point to where you're going. Think of it like a trailer for your life. People don't have time to watch the full movie yet, so they make judgments based on your highlights reel, which is your CV, your LinkedIn profile, or even your social media. The question is, what story are you telling the world? Let's start with the definitions. Signaling is about perception. It's what others infer about your ability, character, and potential from the things you do or have done. Signposting is about direction. It's the map of your journey, what you're doing now, and where it seems to be leading. For example, if you're the captain of a football team, you're signaling leadership, teamwork, and discipline. If you're volunteering at a hospital, you're signposting empathy and an interest in healthcare. If you've built a small business in high school, you're signaling initiative and an entrepreneurial spirit. The world, especially scholarships, employers, and mentors, constantly read these signals and signposts to predict your future performance. In this episode, we'll break down how your CV quietly tells your story and how you can take control of that story. We'll go through the 5 most important sections of your CV. Number 1, education. Number 2, work experience. Number 3, leadership roles. Number 4, extracurricular activities. And number 5 is hobbies, which I have deliberately carved out from the wider bucket of extracurricular activities. So first, education is usually the first place that people look at. It signals 2 things: where you studied, which is a signal of access, quality, and brand, and how you performed, which is a signal of discipline, effort, and intellect. Let's break it down further. The first thing to look at is your school or university brand. Fair or not, the name of your institution sends strong signals. Attending a top school can signal competitiveness and access to opportunity. But remember, you can outperform your brand. Many great people came from small or state schools but built extraordinary track records. What matters is how you use your education as a platform. The second thing are grades. Grades signal reliability, effort, and the ability to meet standards. A 4.0 GPA or first-class degree doesn't just say you're smart, it says you're consistent and disciplined. But if your grades aren't stellar, don't panic. You can still signal growth mindset through improvement over time or strong achievements outside of the classroom. The third aspect is your extra educational signals. Things like scholarships, academic awards, Olympiads, or exchange programs act as bonus signals of excellence and initiative. For example, being a Rhodes Scholar, Chevening Scholar, or MasterCard Foundation Fellow signals not just academic ability, but leadership potential and community commitment. The key takeaway is don't just collect qualifications, collect meaning. Now let's talk about work experience. Your work experience is your strongest real-world signal. Employers, mentors, and even scholarship panels ask, where has this person worked? What did they learn? What kind of problems have they solved? Now, firstly, brand name matters. Working for a well-known company like Google, PwC, or Unilever sends a trust signal. It says, I've been vetted by a respectable institution. But again, don't get trapped by prestige. If you've worked at a small startup, you can still signal value. How? By showing results. Instead of saying I interned at XYZ startup, say I launched a digital marketing campaign that increased user signups by 30%. That's impact signaling. Secondly, and especially relevant for Gen Zs, is duration and consistency. Jumping around jobs too quickly can signal instability. Staying and learning deeply shows commitment. The third thing people look at is roles and promotions. Being promoted signals growth. Taking on stretch roles signals courage. I'm tying all of this back to values, so please watch episode 2 if you have not done so. The last important area is referees and recommendations. Who vouches for you also matters. Your mentors and supervisors are secondary signals of credibility. The key takeaway on work experience is your experience tells people whether you're reliable, ambitious, and ready for more responsibility. Now let's talk about leadership roles. Leadership roles are powerful signals of character. Being a school prefect, a student union president, or club founder tells people you're proactive. Recruiters and even scholarship panels often ask, does this person make things happen or wait for things to happen? That's the leadership signal. Examples, you can be a prefect or captain, and this signals responsibility and trust. Student council roles signal negotiation and communication. Being a founder or organizer signals vision and initiative. But beware of empty titles. A leadership position with no measurable impact can backfire. It is better to say, I organized a school fundraiser that raised $2,000 for charity than I held the title of president with nothing to show for. Leadership should always signpost impact. Now moving on to extracurricular activities, these show that you are more than just academics. They reveal your personality, your ability to work with a team, and your time management skills. Sports signal discipline, resilience, and competitiveness. Debating signals confidence and critical thinking. Volunteering signals empathy and community values. Art and music signals creativity and emotional depth. The key is consistency. A one-off project looks like a hobby. A 3-year commitment looks like passion. Extracurriculars also show signposting, what direction you might be heading. For example, volunteering at a health camp every summer might signpost a future in public health. Now, this last section is often underestimated, but it's full of soft signals. Hobbies tell people who you are when no one's watching. For example, running marathons signals discipline and endurance. Chess signals strategic thinking. Reading or writing signals curiosity and depth. Golf or sailing can signal social class and access. Even gaming can signal quick thinking, pattern recognition, and creativity if you know how to explain it. The tip is choose hobbies that align with the personality traits you want to project. And one thing people don't tell you about hobbies is that it is the best predictor of fit. People want to know if you have things in common. Now, many years ago, I knew someone at a leading French investment bank in London who, during the second round, would screen applications for 2 things. Number 1 was whether they studied at HEC if they were French, and on hobbies if they listed sailing. When you combine all these sections, education, work, leadership, extracurriculars, and hobbies, you're painting a picture of who you're becoming. The trick is to make your signals intentional. So ask yourself, what do my choices say about me? What might someone infer from my CV or online profile? Do my activities signpost the future I want? You don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to be consistent in the story you're telling. Because the world isn't just reading your CV, it's reading you. So what are you signaling to the world? And where are your signposts pointing? Your future is shaped not just by what you say you will do, but by what you show you've already started doing. And that's the lesson for today. But before you go, I have one more thing to share. So every week, I'm going to recommend a book or movie that is relevant to the topic that we've discussed. Today, I want to recommend 4 different movies. The first is the 2006 movie, The Pursuit of Happiness. On signaling, Chris Gardner's intelligence, persistence, and work ethic, even when he's homeless, signal potential. On signposting, every step he takes, including accepting an internship that was beneath him, learning, dressing well despite being homeless, and showing up early, points to his future as a stockbroker. And the lesson is the world doesn't just see your struggle, it reads your discipline and your direction. The second movie is the 2001 Legally Blonde, which is one of my favorite films. On signaling, Elle Woods' pink outfits, her fashion degree, and her social persona initially signal frivolity. On signposting, her decision to apply to Harvard Law, where she excels academically and successfully defends a major case, rewrites that signal into intellect, strategy, and resilience. And the lesson is you can change your signal by changing your actions because the world reads what you do, not what you say. The third recommendation is the 2016 movie Hidden Figures. On signaling, as Black women working for NASA in the 1960s, Katherine Johnson and her colleagues faced stereotypes that dismissed their potential. On signposting, there are math, professionalism, and excellence in high-stakes moments redirects perception towards brilliance and leadership. And the lesson is excellence, consistency, and courage reshape how institutions read your story. And the last example is the 2010 movie, The Social Network. On signaling, Mark Zuckerberg's coding skills and academic background signal high intelligence and rebellion. And on signposting, his choices, including launching Facebook, battling with his co-founder, and dropping out of Harvard, signal ambition and disruption. And the lesson is ambition sends strong signals, but your choices and values determine how they're interpreted. So we made it to the end of episode 6. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop comments here on YouTube. So many thanks to K_X0IQ, who left a comment on episode 5, The Politics of Power, and said, I found this episode particularly informative, and I found it super informative and reassuring when you mentioned not playing dirty, but smart and protecting your values. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Kay, so much for the feedback. For the rest of you, please leave a comment here or share a recap on TikTok, Instagram, or X using hashtag Geniuspire and tag us, or email us at hello@geniuspire.com, and we can read some of the comments on the next episode. So next week, we're going to start exploring educational opportunities to help you start signaling and signposting to the world. In the meantime, hit the subscribe button on this channel so that you can be notified when the next episode drops, which is every Monday at midquarter midnight UK time. And please share this episode with someone who needs it. If there's one episode I've recorded that is worth sharing, it is definitely this one. So until the next time, thank you again for watching, and goodbye.